Yehovah Eloheinu Svaot, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Please fill me and lead me with the Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. Start with the Shema. Listen and obey. Children of Yehovah, pay careful attention and respond. Yehovah is our power and authority. Yehovah works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts in mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold, nail, behold. Judges chapter 6. Then but the people of Israel did what was evil from Yehovah's perspective. So Yehovah handed them over to Midian for 7 years. Midian exercised its power harshly against Israel. And because of Midian, the people of Israel hid themselves in mountains, in caves, in other safe places. One time, after Israel's sowing season, Midian with Amalek and others from the east attacked them. They set up camp by them and destroyed the produce of the country all the way to Azah. They left nothing for the people to live on, for no sheep, no oxen, no donkeys. For they came up with their cattle in tents, and they came in as thick as locusts. Both they and their camels were bound numbering, and they came into the land to destroy it. Israel became very discouraged because of Midian, and the people of Israel cried out to Yehovah. When the people of Israel cried out to Yehovah because of Midian, Yehovah sent a prophet to the people of Israel, who said to them, Yehovah, the God of Israel, says, I brought you up from Egypt, out of a life of slavery. I delivered you from the power of the Egyptians and from the power of all your oppressors. I drove them out ahead of you and gave you their land. And I said to you, I am Yehovah your God. You are not to be afraid of the gods of the Emori in whose land you are living. But you paid no attention to what I said. Then the angel of Yehovah came and sat under a pistachio tree in Ophrah that belonged to Joash the Abiezri. His son Gideon was threshing wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from Midian. The angel of Yehovah appeared to him and said to him, You valiant hero, Yehovah is with you. Excuse me, sir, answered Gideon. But if Yehovah is with us, then why is all this happening to us? Where are all his miracles our ancestors told us about when they said, Didn't Yehovah bring us up from Egypt? For now Yehovah has abandoned us and handed us over to Midian. Yehovah turned to him and said, Go in this strength of yours and save Israel from the hands of Midian. Haven't I sent you? But Gideon answered him, Forgive me, my lord, but with what am I to save Israel? Why, my family is the poorest in Manasseh, and I am the youngest person in my father's house. Yehovah said to him, Because I will be with you, you will strike down Midian as easily as if they were just one man. Gideon replied, If indeed you favor me, would you mind giving me a sign that is really you talking with me? Please don't leave until I go. Return with a gift and present it to you. He replied, I'll wait till you come back. Gideon went in, cooked a young goat, and made matzot from a bushel of flour. He put meat in a basket and the broth in a pot, brought them out to him under the pistachio tree, and presented them. The angel of God said to him, Take the meat and matzot, lay them on this rock, and pour out the broth. Gideon did so. Then the angel of Yehovah reached out with the stick he was holding, touched the meat and matzot, and fire shot up out of the rock, burned up the meat and matzot. Then the angel of Yehovah disappeared before his eyes. Gideon realized that he was the angel of Yehovah and said, Oh no, my Lord, Yehovah, because I have seen the angel of Yehovah face to face. But Yehovah reassured him, Shalom to you. Don't be afraid. You won't die. Then Gideon built an altar there to Yehovah and called it Yehovah Shalom. To this day it remains an Ophrah of the Avaziri. That very night Yehovah said to him, take your father's bull and the other bull, the 7-year-old, destroy the altar of Baal that belongs to your father, cut down the sacred pole next to it, and build a proper altar to Yehovah your God on top of this strong point. Then take the second bull and offer it as a burnt offering, using the wood of the sacred pole you cut down. Gideon took 10 of his servants and did what Yehovah told him to do. He didn't do it by day, because he was afraid of the men in his father's household and those from the city, so he did it at night. When the men of the city got up early the next morning, there was the altar of Baal destroyed, the sacred pole cut down, and the second bull burnt offering on the newly built altar. They asked each other, who could have done this? But after investigating, they concluded that Gideon, the son of Joash, had done it. Bring out your son, the men of the city demanded of Joash, so that he may die, because he destroyed the altar of Baal and cut down the sacred pole next to it. But Joash said to all those crowding around him, you're defending Baal, are you? It's your job to save him? Anyone who defends Baal will be put to death before morning. If he's a god, let him defend himself. After all, somebody destroyed his altar. Therefore, on that day, Gideon was given the name Yerubbaal. Let Baal defend. Because they said, let Baal defend himself against him, since he destroyed his altar. Now all Midian, Amalek, and the others from the east joined forces, crossed the Jordan, and set up camp in Yisrael Valley. But the Spirit of Yehovah covered Gideon. He sounded the call on the shofar, and Abiezer rallied behind him. He sent messengers throughout Manasseh, and they too rallied behind him. He also sent messengers to Asher, Zebulun, and Naphtali, and they came up to join them. Gideon said to God, if you are going to save Israel through me, as you said you would, then here, I will lay a wool fleece on the threshing floor. If there is dew on the fleece only, while on the ground stays dry, I will be convinced that you will save Israel through me, as you said you would. And it happened, he got up early in the morning, pressed the fleece together, and drew it out, a bowl full of water. But Gideon said to God, don't be angry with me because I asked one more thing. Let me make one more test, please. This time, let it be dry only on the fleece, with dew all over the ground. And that is what God did that night. It was dry only on the fleece, even though there was dew all over the ground. How can we learn to love our Creator after reading the 6th chapter of Judges? We can do what is good from the perspective of Yehovah. We can trust that obedience to Yehovah is the only true safe space there is. Cry out to Yehovah in your time of need. Trust that Yehovah will deliver his children. Trust Yehovah your Elohim. Trust that Yehovah sent his angel to Gideon to share a message saying, Yehovah is with you. Be honest with your words and your prayers to Yehovah. Listen to the words of Yehovah. Ask Yehovah to be with you in all that you do. Fight for the children of Israel. Ask Yehovah to have favor and, if possible, to give you a sign like he did for Gideon. Trust that the angel of Yehovah did give Gideon a sign to build his trust. Know that it is possible to see the angel of Yehovah and live. Know that Yehovah reassured Gideon with shalom. Do not be afraid. You will not die. Create something to remember when Yehovah shows up in your life, like Gideon did, building an altar, naming it Yehovah Shalom. Aim to listen for the voice of Yehovah. Aim to act on the words of Yehovah. Destroy any idols you have in your life. Build on the word of Yehovah places of remembrance, pointing others to place their full trust in Yehovah for salvation. Stand firm for Yehovah. Ask for the Spirit of Yehovah to cover you. Ask Yehovah to confirm that he said what he would do for you. How can we love others as Yeshua loves us? We can encourage others to obey Yehovah and to cry out to Yehovah. Bear one another's burdens. We can ask the Spirit of Yehovah to cover us and lead others to salvation. Produce spiritual fruit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, and self-control. We'll end with the Arianic blessing using the name. Yehovah will kneel before you presenting gifts, and he will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehovah will illuminate the wholeness of his being toward you, bringing order, and he will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehovah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete.